Hello, welcome. Happy Monday. So the topic of this morning's live is stop giving up on yourself. Matter of fact, I'm gonna turn the fan to figure out how they say it. All right, got a little steamy. Stop giving up on yourself. Seriously. Stop giving up on yourself. I need you to stop giving up on yourself, okay? I don't know what your goals are. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to buy a house. Whatever the goals are, doesn't matter. But the problem is you keep giving up on yourself, and it has to stop. It's got to stop. Okay, moving forward, especially because we're entering a new year, people love to just restart in 2026, right? Some people are literally like, okay, well, I'm gonna retry all of my life goals come January 1st, 2026. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. Failing to realize that you restarting isn't doing anything because you never addressed the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is you keep giving up on yourself. That's the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is you never stick to the plan. It's always a if I feel like it. Like, that's your whole mentality, which is why things don't get done for you. You're not gonna always feel like leveling up. You're not gonna always feel like working out, right? If your goal is to lose weight, you're not always gonna feel like losing weight. You're not always gonna feel like going to the gym. You're not always gonna feel like exercising. Like, you're not always gonna feel like that. There are gonna be plenty of days where you really don't wanna do it. You might be tired, you might be sore, you might just be mentally drained, like whatever. But it still has to get done. It still has to get done, okay? The days of, oh, well, I'll start when I feel like it. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Like, if you really want to accomplish the goal, whatever the goal is, you're gonna have to stop giving up on yourself. You're gonna have to lock in, okay? I don't know how else to say it so that it clicks, but this whole scrolling social media, trying to find boosts of motivation, like, that's not gonna fix the problem. The problem is not lack of motivation. The problem is your lack of discipline. The problem is your lack of sticking to the plan and not the move. That's your problem, okay? You think that you're supposed to always feel motivated to post content. No. I'm sitting here saying that you won't have times where, you might not be as driven, but you should still have a baseline. You should still have a baseline. Good morning, okay? You should still have a baseline. And what is a baseline? A baseline is the bare minimum of what's acceptable with your routine. Like, the bare minimum. You need a baseline. And a lot of y'all's baseline is nothing. Your baseline is, I don't feel like doing anything and I'm not doing anything. That's your baseline. And that doesn't work out, as you can tell. Your baseline needs to be bare minimum. If I don't do anything else, I have to make sure I do this, right? You have to have a baseline. Everybody's baseline is different. Everybody's life is different, but you need a baseline. Bare minimum, I don't care how I feel, I'm gonna do this, right? So for me, for instance, my baseline, like, I do a lot of things every single day. I pride myself in being very, very, very disciplined, locked in, which all have developed over time. This didn't happen overnight, right? But despite everything that I do, I still have a baseline. So my baseline, bare minimum 10K steps every single day. Like, that's not gonna change because 10K steps doesn't take longer than 90 minutes. Unless, like, I'm sick or somebody close to me is, like, in the hospital, right? Like, obviously stuff like that, stuff that's very dramatic. Good morning. Stuff that's very dramatic, right? Obviously, nothing may get done. But most of the time, my life is not dramatic. It's not full of chaos. So then therefore, My baseline is bare minimum 10K steps. Do I have to do them first thing in the morning? No. I give myself that leeway. So if I happen to sleep in, whatever. It doesn't matter when I get it done, but the bare minimum is 10K steps. Another bare minimum for me is at least 45 minutes on my laptop, doing something for my business. 45 minutes. If I don't do anything else, if I don't go live, if I don't create YouTube content, if I don't do anything else, bare minimum 45 minutes locked into my laptop, whether that's editing, whether that's responding to messages, whether that's fixing something behind the scenes, sending out emails. It's something that requires my laptop. Bare minimum 45 minutes. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? You need bare minimum for you. You need bare minimum for you. Non-negotiables, okay? Non-negotiables. That this has to take place, period, okay? And again, it's not a matter of if something traumatic is going on. That's not what we're talking about. We're literally just talking about maybe one day you just don't feel like it. Okay, well, but just don't feel like it. The bare minimum, non-negotiable is this, okay? Another non-negotiable for me is I always make sure my makeup is done. Like, that is a non-negotiable. Like, I'm gonna put myself together. I don't care. Most of the time, I'm at home. Most of the time, I am at home. I work from home. I create my content mostly from home. I ain't got no friends. Been told you all that, right? Most of the time, I am at home. Most of the time. But despite that, I still make sure I do my makeup. It's not a if I'm going out. It's a special event. If I want to be seen by somebody. No, my bare minimum, non-negotiable, I'm going to do my makeup. Period. Why? Because that makes me feel good. I feel good about myself when I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, I put myself together today. I feel good about myself when I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, Jazz, I'm so pretty. Not saying I don't need makeup or I need makeup to feel good. No. But makeup enhances. Makeup always enhances. Makeup has been enhanced since the beginning of time. And I want to make sure that I always feel good about myself. No ifs, ands, or buts. I have to make sure I feel good. Because if I don't feel good about myself, then I'm not going to get shit done. Because I don't feel good. If you look good, you feel good, right? And when you adopt that attitude, you'll start to do good things for your life. All because you make sure you feel good. I don't care what that is. That's why I always work out. Because when you work out, you release endorphins, right? So that's why a bare minimum for me, I have to get 10K steps. And I've built up, I've been working out for years. So me getting 10K steps, that's not me drenched in sweat. That's not me, gasping for breath. It's not none of that. I'm not sore. My feet don't hurt. That's not any of that. I am at that level in my fitness journey where 10K steps is really not that much. Like, I watch YouTube videos while I'm doing it. I'm listening to audiobooks while I'm doing it. So that's my non-negotiable. And then at the end of it, it takes me about 90 minutes. At the end of it, I feel great. I feel good. I feel productive. I feel proud of myself. So, ladies, you got to figure out what your non-negotiables are going to be. And then you have to stick to it. It's not a let me write out my non-negotiables and if I don't feel like it, I still ain't going to get it done. Absolutely not. No. It's a non-negotiable, bare minimum for a reason. You have to get it done. Period. So maybe you are an aspiring entrepreneur. You want to build a business. You want to sell your digital products. Well, then you need to make sure that something every single day is geared towards that. It doesn't have to be a 5-hour routine, okay? But it has to be something. If you're trying to get to the next level, it has got to be something. We have got to get out of the mindset of, I'm just so busy and I just don't have time. That's a lie. That's a lie. Y'all, write this down. This coming from one of my TikTok lives. Write this down. Write this down in your notebook. The worst lies, ladies, are the lies you tell yourself. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it slowly so you can make sure you write it down. The worst lies are the lies you tell yourself. Yes, they are. Because the lies you tell yourself have convinced you that it's the truth. Knowing damn well it's not. We're not too busy. If you have time to scroll on social media for hours, which most of you guys are doing, because otherwise how the hell you found this video, you have time to work on your business. Yes, you do. I'm not coddling. No, we're getting too grown. At our grown woman age, we ain't doing none of that coddling nonsense. Not over here. Take that coddling mess somewhere else, okay? I already accepted the fact that I am not the coach for everybody. I have happily accepted it, and I don't need to be. I wasn't created to be liked by the masses. I was created to help a specific type of woman, and that's the woman who's tired of her bullshit. I'm here to tell you this. You have time. Yes, you do. You may not have as much time as others, but you still have time. And the time that you have, you need to have enough self-love within yourself to do it, to use your time for something that's going to improve you. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I said what I said. So I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it, okay? And the beauty of having your non-negotiables is what you want. Nobody can tell you is right or wrong. It's literally what you want. Whatever your goals are for yourself, then your non-negotiables need to be geared towards that, okay? Nobody can tell you is right or wrong, but you do have a list of things that you want to accomplish, period. And these things need to be about you, okay? The non-negotiable on the list can't be making sure I cook for my husband. No, this is about you. This is about your glow up. Good morning. This is about your glow up. This is about your evolution, okay? This isn't about doing stuff for other people, okay? The non-negotiables need to be stuff for you, okay? So I need you to figure out what that is, and then you're gonna lock into it, okay? Maybe a non-negotiable is, at least for me, I have to be by 8 o'clock. I have to be in bed by 8 o'clock, period. Like, there's no thinking about it, maybe if I don't, no. I have to be in bed by 8 o'clock. That's the rule. That's the rule. That's the rule. Okay? And that's what it's gonna be. 8 o'clock. Whatever show come on, I can watch it tomorrow on the DVR. I don't watch too much TV anyways, but you get my point, okay? So, ladies, in 2026, we're gonna stop giving up on ourselves. There are so many people out here who have just given up. They just gave up on everything. They gave up everything. Just, man, failing to realize you have more control over your life than you like to give yourself credit for. It really is a mindset thing. It really is. I can't make this up. It really is a mindset thing, okay? Because I'm telling you, whatever you're going through, whatever is in your spirit right now, it doesn't have to stay that way. It really don't. You have the power to change your life. If you lock in for 6 months, a year, your whole life could look different. Your outwardly appearance could look different. The way you feel could look different. Your bank account could look different. All because you decided to just lock in. All because you decided to create a list of non-negotiables, bare minimums, whatever you want to call it, and you stuck to it. You stuck to it. Like, every year, my life updates. Every year. Every year. And the beauty of being a content creator for so long is I can see the elevation in real time. Okay? Because I can look back at old pictures, old videos. I can see it in my energy. I can see it in my spirit. I can see it in physique. I can see it in the type of content I create. Like, I can just literally see it. I see it in real time. And that's what keeps me moving. That's what keeps me going. So start documenting. And this is why I tell y'all, whatever product it is you want to sell, for those of you guys who want to start a business, and you're trying to figure out what to sell, it's the transformation you went on. Whatever that is. That's what you need to be selling. That's what Globe Academy is. Because I used to be the woman who always gave up on herself. I used to be the woman who was very insecure. I used to be her. I used to be the woman that hated my life. I used to be the woman who needed a substance to function, alcohol, right? I used to be the woman who hated her job and felt like she had no purpose. I used to be the people pleaser. I used to be all of those things. But that was me years ago. The woman y'all see today is a reflection of all the changes that I made in my life. All because I decided to pour into myself. All because I decided to stop feeling sorry for myself and change. All because I was fed up with my bullshit. all because of that. And because I got to that point, I did something about it. I stopped throwing pity for myself. I stopped talking about what's not fair. And I decided to take control of my life. That's what I did. And here we are today. Here we are today. And reflecting back on who I used to be, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade my glow up for anything. Absolutely not. Because, you guys, I am so happy. I don't think there's words to just explain how happy I am with my life. I'm not sitting here saying I don't have problems. We all got problems, right? But the problems don't outweigh the happiness. They don't. They don't. And I ground myself quick. I ground myself quick, right? I've gotten to the point on my mental health journey where even if I am in a negative spirit for the time being, I quickly bring myself back to reality. I'll say things like, Jazz, 6 years ago, you were working a job that you absolutely hated. Jazz, 5 years ago, you were 340 pounds. Jazz, 4 years ago, you were drinking every single day. Jazz, 7 years ago, you were broke as hell. Like, I quickly bring myself back. Jazz, 3 years ago, you didn't have any confidence in yourself. Jazz, 2 years ago, you used to people please. I bring myself right back to reality. And then I'm like, you're right. And now look at where I am. Look at how I feel. Okay? And I want you to. But how do we get there? Stop giving up on yourself. Stop throwing the pity parties. Get up. Get up. If you're laying in bed right now trying to decide if you should even start your day, the answer is yes. Get your ass up and do something about what you don't like. I know it's tough love, but sometimes you need some tough love. Okay? I've been there before. I know how it feels. But you still got to get up. You still got to keep moving. It is what it is. I'll also say I hit rock bottom back in 2015. I lost my grandma. And oh my gosh, I loved my grandma. Oh my gosh, like my grandma was like my best friend. Like I can't get this up. Like when I was growing up, I couldn't stand her, obviously sometimes, right? Because she used to have like the simplest rules. I would just be like so irritated. Like, why is she acting like this? Like she's doing the most. But as I became an adult, I appreciated all the rules that she had for me and my brother. Like, and my grandma, she was like my second mother in a sense. Like my mom was always in my life. I saw my mom every single day. But it was something about that bond with grandma. Like my grandma was the one I would tell any and everything to. Like she knew how to parent me without making me feel judged in a sense. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but I just felt like anything that I was struggling with, like I could tell her and she wouldn't make me feel bad. Like I was never ashamed or embarrassed to tell her something. Now, I didn't always tell her everything, okay? Well, like that. Like I knew how to keep my mouth quiet with some of the things I was doing. But if I ever had a problem, like I would always just run to my grandma. I'll tell you this, whatever. Like, and when I went off to college, because we used to live with my grandma. We lived with my grandma for like 8 years, I think, 7 or 8 years. And so she would always like take me to basketball practice, pick me up from school. Like she was like a stay-at-home mom in a sense, because she was retired and stuff. So anyways, I got to a lot of time with my grandma. We used to cook together. She used to take me. We used to go to the stores together. Like. We used to just do everything together. I remember when she had cancer, stayed in the hospital with her. I was literally living in the hospital with her. Like I stayed in her room. I was just always by her side. But anyways, when I went off to college, I missed her so much. Even though I was only like an hour away. It wasn't that far. But I missed her so much. I remember I would call her like 3 and 4 times a day just to tell her like something that happened or something that somebody said or how class was going. Me and my grandma were tight. Anyways, in 2015, she died. It wasn't like completely unexpected. She had a stroke like the year before that, and then she just wasn't the same. For like 10 months, she just wasn't the same. And like you would that was my first experience of grief. And at that time I was 25. I was 25 when she passed. And I had never, I come from a very small family anyway, so it's not like I had aunties and cousins. You know, it was very, very small knit. So that was my very first experience with grief. I've never experienced it before. And I was shocked. Like, first of all, just watching someone kind of like deteriorate in front of you is very dramatic. It's traumatic, right? Like, they're healthy, they're alert, and then over the months you just see them getting smaller, they're forgetting stuff, they can't balance themselves. Like, that was tough, right? And so because I didn't know how to handle it, I started avoiding it. So I wouldn't go to her house. I wouldn't even call her anymore. Not because I didn't love her, but it was more of a selfish thing. And when she died, I didn't even cry. Like, I was still trying to process it, right? But it was like one day, like a few weeks after she passed, I had all this guilt. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I abandoned her. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I literally abandoned her. And that guilt ate me up inside for years. I felt so remorseful because I know that if I was sick, she would have been there every single step of the way, right? Here I am, 25. I see her kind of like dying slowly. But because I couldn't cope with it, I ran away from it and left her. She wasn't by herself. Like, my mom was taking care of her and stuff like that. But I felt like I abandoned her. And that guilt ate me up for years, okay? For years. And I think that's part of the reason why I started struggling with alcohol abuse, because it was during that time. You know, I used to be so depressed. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is that guilt, that shame, that remorse that we allow ourselves to feel, that's what keeps us trapped. Like, I don't care what mistakes you've made in life. At the end of the day, you have to pull yourself out of that guilt. Because if you don't, that guilt that you're living in will eat you alive. And it was eating me. It was eating me alive. You have to find a way to forgive yourself. And the way I learned how to forgive myself for feeling like I abandoned her was I was doing the best that I could do with the tools that I had in my toolbox at that time. Like, I had never experienced grief before. There's no rules. You know what I'm saying? There's no tutorial on how to handle grief. Everybody handles it differently. That doesn't mean the way that you handle grief is any better or any worse than how someone else handles it. We are different, right? And I had to accept that that's what I did, right? I had to accept that, you know, all good things come to an end. I had to be happy and blessed with the years that I got. A lot of people don't get 25 years with their grandparents. A lot of people don't. My brother didn't get 25 years with his grandma, right? Because he's younger than me. So I think he was 18 when she passed. So he had 18 years. My cousins, my uncle's children, they didn't get 25 years with her because when she passed, I think my cousin was 11 and then my baby cousin was like 5 or 6. So they only got 11 years. They only got 5 years, right? I got 25 years because I was the oldest grandchild. I was first grandchild. I got 25 years with an amazing woman who taught me so much. I had to allow myself to be thankful for the time I got, right? Good morning. So whatever is eating you up, for those of you guys who are struggling with feeling guilty about something that you did or didn't do in life, you have to let that go. You have got to let that go. Like, if you want a chance at happiness, you have to let it go. You don't have a choice but to let it go. Because if you do not, it will eat you alive. You never want to stay in grief, not grief. You never want to stay in guilt. Nothing good comes when you feel guilty. Nothing feels good when you feel shame. Nothing good comes from it. You have to let it go. And I'm being real. You have got to let it go, okay? And so all you can do is move forward and ask yourself, okay, what can I do next time? What things from this have I learned that I can use to improve my life moving forward? That's what you have to ask yourself, right? And you have to execute it. You gotta execute it, right? You don't have a choice. Listen, I'm all for a good journal. I'm all for a good journal. But at the end of the day, you can journal all you want. You have to execute what you're journaling. Because the stuff just sitting in a freaking journal, what is that going to do for you? What is that going to do for you? If you're not executing it, right? No, it's not going to do anything. It's just words on a piece of paper in a corner somewhere collecting dust. So, you're going to have to change. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to get up, wipe your tears, and keep pushing. That's what you're going to have to do. You don't have a choice. Because if you keep doing what you're doing, as you see, it's not getting you anywhere. It's not getting you anywhere. Life is too short to just be, woe was me. Okay? And this is from a woman who used to be depressed. Listen, I'm not judging you. Anything I say, I never want it to come from judgment, because it's not. And that's why I only speak on things that I've experienced, that I've dealt with. I don't speak on things that I have not gone through. I don't speak on how to be a single parent. I'm a single parent, I don't have any kids, right? I only speak on things that I've gone through. So if you're new to the channel and you hear me talking, just know whatever I'm talking about, I have personally experienced. I'm never speaking on things that I have not experienced, okay? And I'm telling you this because you have to get up. You have to keep pushing. You cannot keep sitting in pity. You cannot keep feeling sorry for yourself. You cannot do it. Nothing good is going to come from it, okay? You have to make the choice every single day. Am I going to be happy today, or am I going to be sad today? You got to ask yourself that. Well, what are you doing? Am I going to be happy today, or am I going to be sad today? It starts with a choice. Is it hard? Yes. But sitting in the bed and crying and feeling sorry for yourself is also hard. So, baby girl, I need you to get up. I need to get up. And I need you to put one foot in front of the other and keep pushing. And stop giving up on yourself. Some of y'all done gave up. It's time to ungive up. It's time to keep on. You only got one choice. What you gonna do? Now, once you do decide that you're gonna get up, every day we just make improvements. Every day we just make improvements, okay? So back to the non-negotiables, the bare minimums, the thing that you're gonna do for yourself, if nothing else, okay? Make it 5 minutes to start. What are you gonna do for 5 minutes? That towards your goal. 5 minutes moves like that. How long have you been on this live? About 30 minutes. You done got through several 5 minutes. 5 minutes, right? So, you're gonna start with, hold on. What things can I do that will push me closer towards my goals? Whatever those things are, you have to do. So start with 5 minutes. Maybe you want to be a content creator. Okay, well, let's start with 5 minutes. Pull out ChatGPT and come up with make it help you come up with some content ideas, things that you could be talking about in your videos. Or if you're not too sure what you want to do in the first place, ask to give you some ideas. Okay? And if you didn't know, chat is AI. Good old ChatGPT, that is AI. Okay? Good morning. So I want that. And then we got to commit to doing it. Whatever it gives you, we got to commit to doing it. And listen, things get better over time. Okay? The level of discipline I have today is not what I started out with, by any means. By any means. It's gotten way better over time. That's because every single day I choose to improve. I choose to improve. It's a choice, ladies. It's a choice. It is a choice. It is a choice. I was watching, you've probably seen them floating around on YouTube. I've seen several different ones. One of the ones I saw was fit versus overweight people. It's like they're on a stage and they get asked a series of questions, and then people who are in one category versus the other, they answer the question based off of their perspective. So I've seen one about fit versus unfit people, and listening to the people who were unfit, it's like they had a lot of excuses as to why they can't lose weight, failing to realize, and again, I was 340 pounds, I've lost 100 pounds, so I know. Failing to realize that they're the reason why they're overweight. And when I used to be big, I used to say the same things that they said. It really is a mindset. I can't make this up, because now that I'm on the other side of that, I've lost 100 pounds, I live a very active life, I'm vegan. Being on the other side of that now, I'm like, wow, I can't believe the same things. Failing to realize that it really is a choice. It really is a choice. There was another one I watched, and leave a comment down below, you know what I'm talking about. There was another one I watched where it was poor people versus millionaires. Well, they didn't call them poor, they called them middle class. Middle class versus millionaires, okay? And I'm not a millionaire yet. Heavy on the word yet. Okay, because it's coming. It's coming, all right? But I'm not a millionaire yet, right? But listening to what middle class, and I'm middle class, okay? I'm middle class. Listening to what the middle class people were saying, the questions that were being asked, it was still a mindset thing, okay? It was still a mindset thing. Like, there were people who were middle class on that stage that were saying they can't get rich because that's not the cards that were drawn for them. Like, some of them just had the most defeated mindset. Like, just defeated as hell. Like, it didn't matter what the millionaire was saying to them. They just had an excuse for the excuse. Like, it was like there was no getting through. And then one of them he came on the stage. Like, his energy was so hostile. He just kept talking about, I'm a single dad and I don't have any help and I'm doing the best that I can. Like, but it was like, he was so angry. And like, they were trying to give him solutions. Like, they were saying, like, you have a cell phone. Like, why don't you look up businesses that you could start that don't cost much money to get started? Like, they were literally saying this to him, but he just kept talking about he came from generational poverty and his grandpa was in the civil rights, and it just didn't have it had absolutely nothing to do with the question at hand. He just had all these excuses as to why he couldn't look on his cell phone and get some ideas on a side hustle he could start. It's like he wasn't open to receiving the information at all. Like, he was very hostile with it. And again, it's literally just a mindset. It really is, because the things that the millionaires were saying, it wasn't even anything that required like funding or credit. Like, They didn't even get to any of that. But yet he had so many excuses as to why he can't do better than what he's doing. If you've seen any of those floating around, like, leave a comment and let me know, like, if you know what I'm talking about. Because it was just, ladies, it really is a mindset. And I know, listen, if this was me listening to this 8 years ago, 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have been like, girl, shut the fuck up. I'm not even gonna lie. I would have had the same energy that I was telling you the man had. Like, just not receptive to anything, just so closed-minded, came to this. Like, I would have had the same energy. I really would have. But I'm telling you this because it really is a mindset thing. It really is. It really just starts with a choice. The choice is you're either going to sit on your phone for 8 hours and watch funny videos, or are you going to sit on your phone, learn how to do something, and then execute it? I can't make this up. I can't make this up. Sometimes things just don't click right away. Which is why, honestly, I don't change up my messaging. Ever since I've had this channel, y'all heard me say the same thing. Because sometimes you're just not in a place to hear it today, right? But maybe next month, you are in a place to hear it. Maybe in 6 months from now, you're in a place to hear it, right? And a lot of times, believe it or not, it's like you don't need, people like to hear the same thing over and over again. Like anything that I'm trying to fix in my life, when I get on YouTube, if I am on social, it's YouTube. Like, I spend way more time on YouTube than any other platform. Because I personally like to listen to long form content. Like, whoever the creator is, like, I like to really get a deep dive on what the topic of discussion is, right? And I have noticed for myself, like, when I'm trying to figure something in my own life or do better, I listen to the same thing over and over again too. Like, for instance, like, I'm trying to get these last 30 pounds off. And so I've just been really, locked in with my calorie deficit. I've been really locked with logging stuff into my fitness pal. I've been really locked into making sure I'm getting my steps in. And so when I'm walking and stuff, I'm literally listening to weight loss content. But I already know how to lose weight because I've already lost 100 pounds, right? I know how to lose weight. But it's just, even though I know it's caloric deficit, move your body, like, even though I know this, I still like to listen to it over and over and over again, right? So when you're creating your content, you don't have to be stressed about, well, I already said this, or I need to say something new. No, you don't. You really don't. A lot of us are creatures of habit. People like to hear the same thing, like, whatever it is that they're going through in their life, looking for solutions on. People, honestly, leave a comment and let me know. But most of the time, people want to hear the same thing over and over again. That's what they need, right? Good morning. That's what they need. They need to hear it over and over again. So don't overthink it. Don't overthink it at all, okay? Don't do it. But what I do need you to do is start. I do need you to do that. I need you to get started, okay? Because, listen, 2026 is coming, okay? And don't think that because it's a new year, it's going to be a new you. It's not going to be you until you decide, until you make the choice to do something new. But if you're going to keep doing the same, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start on Monday, ain't nothing new about you. You're going to be in the same damn excuses, same mindset that you've been in. You have to decide what you're going to do, okay? You have to do that. Okay. I think I'm going to wear my hair today. Okay. I put some, what is it, Mael? well, I've been using it a lot for my edges. So when I was wearing braids, so if you don't know, if you haven't been following me for long, I used to always be in knotless braids. Like this is the first year that I've been doing sew-ins. Like my whole outer appearance has leveled up this year. Like this year, like the past few years I've been working on internal, right? But this year was definitely a level up. Like with my look, I started wearing makeup, I started doing sew-ins. Like I used to always be in knotless braids. Like for years as a content creator, I was always in knotless braids. Why? Because I was in my workout era and I didn't want to have to worry about my hair and stuff like that. And then plus I was trying to grow out my hair. And I did. My natural hair is extremely long now. But anyways, so this back in the summertime, my hairstylist told me, she was like, girl, your edges getting a little thin. you got to stop laying them down. Because I used to lay my edges. She's like, you got to stop laying them down for a while so they can grow back. So ever since she told me that, I have not been laying my edges. They just froey, and it just is what it is. And I started putting this on my edges at night, and then I'll use my scarf and wrap it up. They've gotten so full again. They're growing back in, filling in. So yeah, I'm not gonna lay my edges anymore. But I'm not gonna do that no more. I never did all the crazy stuff, just swoop, just simple swoop. But all that friction with the edge brush, and then I use Gotta Be Glue, all that pulling, and just, if you know, you know, right? If you know, you know. Good morning, good morning. So that's what I got going on. Okay, so I'm gonna do this today. Keep it simple, keep it up, looking educated. If only I had my glasses. I got my contacts in. Okay, so look what I got. Y'all, I got something special for us. Okay, so I got these off of Amazon. They are on my Amazon shop. So feel free to order yours. I got a piece of camera now. We got an affirmation deck. So you guys know how much I pour affirmations into your spirits every time we're live. I'm always giving you guys affirmations for thought because it really is a mindset. It really is a mindset, right? Well, I ordered these affirmation deck, okay? And they're so cool. It was only like $8. You get this whole basically deck of cards. I pulled these ones out because these I use for my TikTok live. They relate to what I'm talking about on there. So I pulled these ones out for that. But there's so many good affirmations in here. So let's do our affirmation, shall we? And y'all, again, when y'all do these, when y'all do affirmations, if you don't have any confidence like how I didn't, it's gonna feel weird. Like saying these things, you're gonna be like, what the fuck am I talking about? It's gonna feel awkward because you don't believe it. You don't believe it yet. But I'm telling you, the more you do it, the more you will believe it. So please, like, part of glowing up internally and externally, financially, anything, it requires effort. You gotta do it. Okay, you can't just skate through it. Like, you have to put in the work. I don't know why we got to a mindset where things just magically happen. Like, this is not a Disney princess movie, okay? Things don't magically happen, ladies. You have to put in the work. Just like you put in the work at that job to get your in 2 weeks, you have to put in the work to build your confidence. You have to put in the work to grow your business. You have to put in the work to lose weight. You have to put in the work to fix your credit. Things don't just magically happen. I don't know why you think that, but it doesn't. Okay, you gotta put in the work. So when it comes to saying these affirmations, yes, it might feel awkward. You might not believe nothing I'm talking about, but I still need you to say it. And the more you say it, I promise you, it'll start to feel more and more natural and it won't be awkward. Just do it, please, okay? Good. And just so y'all know, I am on live at the same time. Good morning. So I'm recording the professional version, okay, the long form version. That's why I got on this mic right here, so that's why I'm looking at the camera, but I also got y'all going too. Okay, y'all ready? Let me find a good one. Ooh, here we go. My mind and my heart are open to new adventures. My mind and my heart are open to new adventures. My mind and my heart are open to new adventures. Okay. Y'all better start being open-minded. Stop being so closed off. Try new things. Because obviously what you're doing ain't working. I guess that means it's time to switch something up. Okay. All right. Let's do a I feel stuck one. They have these separated into like categories too. Like whatever it is you want affirmation on. Ooh. I trust that I am being led towards growth and purpose. I trust that I'm being led towards growth and purpose. Amen to that. Sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, what you're looking for is never in your comfort zone. What you're looking for is never in your comfort zone. So the happiness that you want so badly, it's not in your comfort zone. The financial freedom that you are desiring, it's not in your comfort zone. That business that you said you wanted to start 10 years ago is not in your comfort zone. That weight that you want to lose, that you've been talking about losing for, I don't know, what, 6-8 years, it's not in your comfort zone. It's not there. Because if it was, it would already happen. It's not there. The growth that you're looking for, the changes in your life that you want, they only take place when you get uncomfortable. That's the only time you're going to get it. So if you want to keep hanging around the same toxic ass people, fine. You want to keep making excuses, fine. You want to keep spending your weekends watching Netflix, not doing shit, fine, go ahead. Go on, keep doing what you're doing. But the results that you're looking for, it's not there. It's not there. If you truly want to be moved towards your purpose, you're going to have to leave that comfort zone. You ain't got a choice. I forgot to do my lips. Okay? So for those of y'all who are looking for change, just know you're not going to get it until you change. All right? Let me do my liner, then we'll do the next one. I was looking at the camera, I'm like, something's off. I'm like, oh, I forgot my lip. Gotta have a little color. Gotta have a little color to the face, right? Okay. All right. Ooh. Ooh. Here we go. I am my true self, and that is powerful. I am my true self, and that is powerful. Stop trying to be something you're not, y'all. Listen, I didn't find my happiness until I started being my authentic self. I used to people please. I tell y'all this. I was a people pleaser. I wanted friends. I really wanted friends. I've always been introverted. I've always been to myself. The friends that I had in the past, they always used to come up to me. Like, I never went up to other people. Like, social anxiety, insecure, that's just how I was, okay? So I've always been introverted. I never had a lot of friends. But because I wanted to keep the friends that I had, I felt like I had to perform. I felt like I had to earn love. I dissected all of this in my glow-up journey, but reasons why I did those things. I felt like I had to perform. I had to earn love. I had to show that I'm worthy, failing to realize that I don't have to do any of those things to get the right people to like me, right? So I would always not be myself because I was afraid that if I was myself, then they wouldn't want to be my friend anymore. And when you do that, when you people please and you try to put on this front, it really just leaves you drained at the end of it. You're so drained, you're so lost, you're frustrated, you have resentment because you're agreeing to things you don't really want to do, but you're trying to get people to like you, so you do it anyways. You really start to get mad at yourself, right? And that's where, you start to just, you kind of become depressed with that, because it's like, dang, I can't even be myself. I gotta wear this mask and act like I like these things and I don't. Failing to realize that once you take that mask off, once you just decide, you know what, today I'm gonna be myself. Okay, today I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and I'm gonna say what I wanna say, and I'm not gonna bite my tongue to keep someone else happy. Today we're not doing that. Today's gonna be a new day. We're gonna do a new path. Okay, I'm gonna be myself, right? When you start being yourself, that's where the power is. When you start being comfortable with who you are, and you stop caring if people not gonna like you, that actually makes people like you more. I can't make this up. When you people please, people don't respect you because they can walk all over you. Nobody respects anything that just you get easily, right? But when you start telling people no, when you start setting boundaries, when you stop biting your tongue, when you really just do what makes you happy, obviously not hurting anybody, but when you're just doing this that makes you happy, you're not worried about what people are going to say or think, you become so peaceful. It feels amazing. It's like all this power, all because you decide to be yourself. So I say all that to say, for my people users watching, I need you to be yourself. Stop letting people walk all over you. Stop agreeing to things that you know damn well you don't want to do. Stop. Just be yourself, okay? Next one. This one's a confidence one. I am proud of who I am becoming. I am proud of who I am becoming. I know I am, and if you're not, change it. We gotta change it. I need you to be proud of yourself. I need you to be proud of the woman you're becoming. So if, for you, you are not proud of the things you got going on, well, then how are we going to fix it? What are we going to do? We're going to sit around and just, no, that's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're going to do. What we're going to do is fix it. This is Juvia's Place Chic Lip, okay? But we're gonna fix it. That's what we're gonna do. So this is what I want you to do. I wish I had my dry erase board, but it's okay. I want you to write down 5 to 10 things that you think would make you happy. And it can't be money. Because I feel like if we do that, then everybody can go with money. No, can't put money. You can't put money. Can't put money, okay? So write down 5 things that would make you happy. Write them down. And then I want you to pick the top 3 things that you really feel like, okay, if I didn't get the other 7, but I get 3 things, I would still be pretty damn happy, right? Okay, whatever those 3 are. Then I want you to make on another sheet of paper, list out the steps. What do you have to do in order to get that? Whatever the 3 things were. What are the steps? Based off of what you know, even if you don't do no research yet, what are the steps that you think you would have to take in order to get to that thing that you wanted? Those are the steps. So, one of my students in Glow Up Academy, right? So I do book clubs on Sundays. And she's been in Glow Up Academy for months. I would say probably since June. I would say about June, right? And in one of the book club meetings, we were talking about like our long-term goals. And she said one of her goals is to move to Thailand. Like that's what she wants to do. Like she wants to move to Thailand. And she wants to not have to worry about money when she gets there. She wants to be able to stay for as long as she wants to stay. Like she just wants to travel. She wants to be like one of those digital nomads, right? And when she brought that up, you could see the excitement in her eyes. Like, she was just grinning from ear to ear every time she talks about it. She, like, her whole energy shifts whenever she talks about moving to Thailand. And she has said that, you know, she joined the academy because she wanted to learn how to make money online, and she wants to start her business, and eventually she wants to move to Thailand, right? But a lot of times we have these goals that we want for ourselves, like 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. But sometimes those goals that we have, they can overwhelm us because the goal itself is just so big, right? Like, for instance, if like I wanted to lose 100 pounds. If I solely focused on, I gotta lose 100 pounds, I would have felt overwhelmed, and then I would have just froze and not did anything, right? Because that number 100 is so big. Same with her vision, going to Thailand, like living in a whole nother country. It's a beautiful dream, but sometimes it can feel overwhelming, right? So then you freeze, you don't do anything. Well, over the weeks, because she was always coming to every book club, she'd come every week. I'm like, okay, Donna, so what are we gonna do, right? What are we gonna do? And you know, it was a lot of excuses at first, like, well, you know, I gotta get this done, I gotta get that done, and I gotta, you know, but you know, I always hear them out for a while, right? Because I've got to figure out like what's the real issue here, right? So over the weeks, we're talking, and I said, I want you to post one piece of content this week. That's what I said to her. And when I went to her TikTok, she already posts, but never posts of her. It's always just like quotes or, you know, things like that. And so then she was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do it this week because I got to do this and this. I was like, I think you can do this. I think you can do this, right? And I was like, so next week when we get on our meeting, I expect a video. So she was like, oh, okay. So we got on our call the following week. I asked her, I said, where's the video? She's like, well, I recorded it, but I didn't post it. And I was like, okay, so you did half the job, because before she wasn't doing none of that. I'm like, okay, you did half the job, all right, cool. So she was like, I was like, so next week, I want you to hit upload. And she was like, okay. Next week came by. I said, so where we at? Did we post it? She was like, I didn't post it yet. I'll post when we get off this call. I said, fair enough. Post it after we get off the call. Got off the call. About an hour later, she messages me in Skool Academy. And she said she posted it. I was jumping for joy. Oh my God, I was like, you did it. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. We have been building up to this moment for weeks. And she finally posted. I was like, oh my God, this is great. Got on the call the following week and I was just hyping up like, oh my God, you did it, yada, yada, yada. Like, how did you feel? And she was so excited, you guys. And I was like, and you know what this is gonna do? And she was like, what? I was like, you are now one step closer to Thailand. You are now one step closer to Thailand. Because once you posted your first one, you've proven to yourself you can do it. Now you're gonna post your next one. And now we're gonna build up this consistency. You're gonna be growing your platform, selling your ebook, getting yourself closer and closer to Thailand. You guys, all of these steps that I'm telling you to take is going to get you closer to the woman that you want to become. Whatever that is, whatever the goals and the dreams are that you have. But it starts with small decisions every day. Are you going to work on the business or are you not? Good morning, Andrea. Are you going to work on the business or are you not? Are you going to post the content or are you not? You have to decide. What are you going to do? Right? So, you know, I don't believe that there's anything that anyone can't do. I don't believe that. People can try to prove me wrong. I don't think unless you have some type of disability, right? Maybe, if you got some type of illness, okay. But most people aren't disabled. Most people are not sick, right? So then therefore, I just don't believe that there's anything that you can't do, especially if it's already been proven that it can be done. You have different groups of people. Like you'll have some people who they don't even know what's possible, but they're willing to figure it out. Then you have some people who see what's possible, so they're willing to do what they already know can be done. And then you have people who they see something as possible and feel like they can do it. And then you have another group of people who are just like, I can't do anything, and it's not possible, right? But I believe that there's nothing that anyone can't do, especially if they've already seen that it's possible. But it's the things that we got on our head that keep people from doing it. A lot of times people, it's just like sometimes people just feel defeated, or they don't have any confidence, and so that's why it doesn't get done. I don't think there's anything that I'm doing that you can't do. I don't think anybody can't make content. I don't think anybody can't go live. I don't think anybody can't sell a digital product. But the difference is I just make a choice every day to work on my goals. The question is, are you? The answer is no. Okay, so then how are we going to fix it? Because keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting the same results. And obviously, if you're watching my channel, you want better results. So, we gotta change. Hello. Next one. Let's do I need motivation affirmation. I believe I have the ability to overcome obstacles. I believe I have the ability to overcome obstacles. Absolutely. The question is, do you choose to overcome it? Or are we just going to sit around and talk about the problem? I always have and always will hold the power to create my own reality. I am powerful. I always have and always will hold the power to create my own reality. I am powerful. You guys, manifestation is real, but you got to put in the work. So I will never forget, years ago, I was working at my job that I told you all about, that I absolutely hated. And the way the building was, it was floor to ceiling windows. I worked downtown, and I could see the highway from the back of the office building, on 95. And you had people coming in the city and out the city, right? And I remember there was one computer in the back. I would always go to that computer because I like to do my work and then look out and just look out at life while I'm in this prison cell of work, right? And so I would look out and I would literally be in a daydream, just thinking about one day I'm gonna work for myself. And this was before COVID, so people used to really have jobs back then. Nobody was on the highway at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? The roads were empty during work hours. Now you go outside, it's fucking 9 o'clock in the morning and roads are still packed. I'm like, why is nobody at work? But back then, people were not on the road all day. And so the highway would be empty after around 9 o'clock because everyone has gotten to their job. And I remember thinking one day I'm gonna be on 95 and it's gonna be a Wednesday and it's gonna be 11 a.m. and I'm gonna just be riding. It's not gonna be a day off. I'm just riding because I can and I'll have that freedom. And then here we are today doing that. I can get in my car and go. I'm not clocked into a time clock. I don't have to ask for permission to leave work early. If I want to go get my nails done on a freaking Tuesday at 11 a.m., I can go do that. All because I decided to create my reality. I remember sitting at that computer, looking out the window, just thinking about what my life will look like. And here I am doing that. Literally. And this is coming from a girl that has no generational wealth, okay? I got no money passed down to me. Nothing got passed down to me at all. I come from a single household. I come from middle class, lower middle class. I didn't have any privileges, okay? But I didn't allow that to hold me back. You have to decide what you want. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. Everybody's level or version of success is different. Not everybody out here trying to be worth $100 million. Okay, you don't have to be. Some people, they're cool with 6 figures. Cool, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But you have to decide, what does success look like for you? And then how are you going to get it? Because anything you want is not out of reach for you. But you hold yourself back. You hold yourself back. Okay. Let's do let's do a feeling anxious one. I used to struggle with anxiety. I am not in danger. I am just uncomfortable. This too will pass. I am not in danger. I'm just uncomfortable. This too will pass. Yes. We got to get uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable, okay? There's no growth in that comfort zone that you hold on to for dear life. Ain't none. Ain't nothing in that comfort zone. So you're going to have to let it go. You got to let it go. Because that comfort zone is literally holding you back. Okay? So make sure you guys are saying your affirmations every single day. What's going on in the world of Jasmine, Glow Up Academy, business, content? Nothing, anything different. I told y'all, well, no, because I wasn't on live last week. So I had a meeting, a Zoom with my mentor last Monday, and I went over my goals with her for 2026. And so she gave a lot of good pointers. So I've been working on fixing stuff within my business to reach those goals. I've just been focused. I feel good. I feel good. I think too, sometimes, especially if you're really ambitious, I've struggled with this, you might struggle with it too. Sometimes you want something so bad that you become attached to the outcome. And so if you don't get the outcome that you want in the time frame in which you feel that you should get it, it can be depressing because you've attached so much to the outcome that you're looking for. And it's toxic. It's toxic. And I used to do the same thing. I used to do the exact same thing. It is extremely toxic. And so one thing I've worked on the second half of 2025 and I'm going to take into 2026 is I have let go of the outcome that I want. I let it go. I'm no longer obsessing over numbers. I'm no longer obsessing over, numbers, whether it's analytics, followings, views, dollars. Like, I've let go of numbers altogether. I no longer care. I am now solely focused on just doing the small steps that I have to do within my business and within myself that'll get me to that overall goal that I want. So if I want to make $1 million, well, I already know what I have to do to get there. So I'm going to detach from that dollar, 1 million, and I'm just going to focus on making sure every single day I do the things that I have to do that will eventually get me there. No time frame. And living like that in my business has relieved so much stress. I feel more grounded. I feel happier, all because I let go of the outcome. I've already spoken to the universe. The universe knows. God knows. Jasmine wants millions. It knows. I've said it 1 million times. But now I'm not focused on the number. I'm just solely focused on doing what I have to do. It'll eventually get me there. You gotta detach. You gotta detach. Always find other things to do, to put off, and it's good things, but ultimately it's a distraction. Excuse. Yes, yes. Okay, I love that you said that, Andrea. Yeah, we got to stop with the distractions. The distractions, you guys, will literally hold us back, and sometimes you don't even realize that it's a distraction. Because you're used to doing it, you don't even look at it as a distraction. You look at it as me time, right? So again, maybe the distraction is scrolling social media, right? But you're not looking at it as a distraction. You're looking at it, oh, this is me time. Like it's some downtime. It's just, it's just 30 minutes of just doing what I want to do, right? But especially when you're really trying to get something done, those 30 minutes could go into something that actually matters and pushes towards whatever it is you're working on, right? So we got to think about distractions as, when you're trying to figure out what a distraction is, ask yourself, is this something that's getting me closer to my goal or holding me back from the goal? There's no in between. It's either yes or no. And if the answer is no, well then, okay, it's a distraction. So I don't have to necessarily eliminate it completely, but I do have to tone it on down, because the goals that I have for myself are far more valuable to me than these 30 minutes of scrolling Instagram, right? When you start looking at it like that, you start to realize, okay, well, maybe I won't give up the full 30. Maybe I'll bring it down to 15 minutes. And then over time, you're using the 15 minutes to scroll social, and you'll realize, you know what? I don't even really need 15 minutes anymore. And this is for any distraction. I'm just using social media as an example, but this is for anything. You could say, you know what? I've been doing 15 minutes for X amount of weeks now. It's really not as important to me as it used to be. I'm gonna take it down to only 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is for you, right? But you're making progress. And that's what all of this is. Nothing's gonna happen overnight. Nothing. But every single day, you're committed to getting a little bit better. That's it. That's it. And the next thing you know, 6 months, a year, you might not even need that distraction. You might be so far removed from it that it's never even like a thought, Mine is usually house stuff, clean the fridge, rearranging. First of all, that's not a distraction. You should want to keep your space clean. That's not a distraction. That is necessary. To function, to be mentally healthy, I need a clean space too. I can't operate in clutter. If I know that my refrigerator's dirty, it irritates me. Like, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. So that I don't consider that a distraction. Then I feel bad I'm not doing it when I should be doing it. I need to have a paradigm shift. Yes. So what you could do is like maybe say to yourself, okay, I'm going to commit 10 minutes. I'm going to do this, whether that's folding some clothes, whether that's cleaning out the oven or getting it started at least. Just like 10 minutes, I'm going to do this. And however much I can get done in 10 minutes, cool. And then after that, okay, not tomorrow, but the next day I'm going to commit another 10 minutes. And the next thing you know, 10 minutes have stacked up and you actually got that one thing done that you've been trying to put off for who knows how long. Sometimes you got to like trick your mind. Yeah. But clean spaces are very important. I read somewhere the way somebody keeps their house or their car determines their mental state. And I can see that. When you live in chaos, like when you live in clutter, it doesn't have to necessarily be dirty. Like we're not sitting here saying, you got rings on your toilet. Maybe you just live in clutter, right? Maybe you just live in clutter. If you live in clutter, that's because there's clutter going on in your mind. Or if your car is cluttered or dirty, whatever, that's because your mind is full of chaos. It's like like people don't even realize it. And I used to be very cluttered too. Never dirty, but cluttered. Like this is a distinction. Never dirty, but I was very cluttered. Like nothing was organized, like at all. And reflecting back, this was like last year. And reflecting back, like, there was just a lot of stuff in my mind that was chaotic. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start organizing. And I organized my pantries. I organize my seasoning. I got the seasoning containers where you put the label of the seasoning that looks all nice and fancy in there now. I organized my closet. I organized everything in here. And I feel so much more organized mentally. So if you do struggle with that, ask yourself, are you living in chaos? Because a lot of times you are, you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. A lot of times you are. And then it also shows that you don't even pour into yourself enough to keep your space clean, which shows you got to start prioritizing yourself. You got to start prioritizing yourself. Like, it shows that you don't. Not in a shameful way, just in a way of we need to improve. We need to improve. Okay? All right, y'all. I enjoyed you. I am going to make some content for about an hour, and then I'm going to get on TikTok Live. Make sure you guys join Gulp Academy if you have not already. I've marked the price down. Lifetime access right now is $249. Once I finish all my content in my other live, I will take the price back up to $597. So lock in. The link is in my description. Okay? All right, you guys. Have an amazing Monday. I'll see you guys later. Bye.